We are back. Sam Seder, Emma Vigeland. It is Casual Friday, fun half, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, it is.
The left wanted to make comedy illegal, you know?
Yeah, no.
That's why we can't be too funny in the fun half.
It's lock us up if we...
Like you can't make fun of anything.
It really is. If you actually listen to his voice, you realize, like, what? This guy.
No, he has the affectation of a 14-year-old boy.
It's like, legalize comedy.
Legalize it.
It's like he's doing a voice for Rocket Power.
Yeah, right.
Legalize it. Come on, man. Legalize it.
Sweet.
Risa.
Sam, do you know what this audio is from?
Stop the count, stop the fraud, stop the count, stop the fraud, stop the count, stop the fraud.
Brooks Brothers riot?
Yes. That is that the Brooks Brothers riot?
You're both right, yep.
Yeah, someone else was right first, but...
Wait, did you say it too?
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't hear it over the stop the count. Risa, please tell Russ he's doing a great job. I mean, he asked me.
I'm pretty sure I told Emma.
It's not that
But
deep.
you know,
No, you
Emma in school was always the one going like, I know it.
Yeah, I was. And often I hadn't read the book, but I just thought I had strong opinions. Yeah. Sometimes.
I did that too. I had a lot of
I
trouble.
got the gist.
Risa, please tell Russ he's doing a great job so far.
Thank you, Risa.
Stop Anti-Semitism account is run by one annoying lady from Long Island.
Pretty sure a racist person, if a screenshot I saw was to be believed.
I will say that if you remember the Catholic, do you remember that guy? There was one guy who ran the Catholic something coalition. He would he'd do all of these things. Basically, he was protecting the Catholic Church when all of the pedophilia stuff came down. Skippy McGee, my years-long search for the elusive film Who's the Caboose has successfully concluded thanks to my local library. I'd like to send a huge thank you to public libraries everywhere. Congratulations. It's also, I think it's on Apple. I think you can rent it on Apple TV. I think.
Bill Donahue, is that who you're thinking of?
Bill Donahue, exactly. I'm gonna release Who's the Caboose on YouTube soon, and also pilot season, which you cannot find anywhere. Courier 11 second. This is going to be a pretty jarring way for the capitalists to learn that China's economy is stronger than the United States.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
We're high on our own supply right now.
Wet ass Pelosi. Can you ask Jeet his favorite era of Little Orphan Annie is and what it is that draws him to the comic? I will ask him another time. Nassau County, did you see that Ken Martin created a people's cabinet to respond to the Trump Republican platform and tenure? Still ridiculous that he hasn't banned super PACs and primaries, but I'm a bit pleased because his cabinet includes Rob Reich, Julie Su, Mandela Barnes, and others. If this is who we can center our party around, that's generally a great step forward and good to see, good to the abundance agenda.
That is good. Yep. That is good. I mean, Martin, even though we were hoping for Wickler, Martin is still a significant improvement over Jamie Harrison. Debbie Wasserman Schultz prior, not the worst DNC chair we've had, definitely.
Chicago let a carry. Check out the Sean Fain interview on the Lever Time podcast. I started to watch a little bit of that yesterday. I'll watch it soon. I flat on my back, so I couldn't really watch stuff that much. Sent with lasers. Scratch a liberal. Tomo Flink. Happy Casual Friday, folks. Donald Trump wants Europeans to buy more Cadillacs. My 2015 Volkswagen Polo does 50 to 60 miles per gallon. Why would I want to swap that for a fuel-guzzling dick extension that A, doesn't fit on our roads, B, would make me look like the world's tackiest organized crime boss? Because some people care about being a superlative.
Because it's cool.
Margot from Mass. It's unclear if it's an app problem or a problem on my phone specifically, but every time my screen goes to sleep, the audio from the app stops playing. Might not be on your end, but FYI.
Try turning off battery saving mode would be my advice. That happens to me with Twitch anyway.
Also, I would also say this. if you have a problem with the app, the best thing to do is to go through the Zendesk on the app and give your what phone you're using and what operating system you're using for feedback on stuff like that. Okay. So this is the tariffs. Or is this clip number? This is number 2 here?
This is, yeah, and then Jesse Waters.
Yeah, okay. So here is the Washington Post. It is amazing to me. People know that in the morning I listen to the AP News at the top and the bottom of the hour just to get a sense of what normies here. And as far as everyone's reporting, I don't know if everybody's reporting it this way, but AP is that the tariffs were paused, except for China, who we now have a 100, I think I misspoke. I think I said 125, but it went up because China fought back.
How dare
Don't
they?
struggle. Don't struggle.
Just take it. Just
Take
take
it.
it. Don't be a real E. Jean Carroll about this whole thing.
It's 145% now.
Yeah.
And we still have on Canada and Mexico 25% rates. So you'll notice that there was to the extent that there was a pause, the pause really just happened with places like Japan, Vietnam, South Korea, Taiwan, and a ton of other countries. But the pause was just down to 10%. And so if you average the effective rate of all the tariffs placed on goods coming into this country, and again, Canada and Mexico are our biggest trading partners, and then China, you'll notice that the increases with China and the maintenance of the 25% on Mexico and Canada, you will notice that the effective rate is actually higher than it was. So there's this sort of like game that's being played. Now,
And also, like, Europe and stuff aren't acting like this is over. Like, von der Leyen, who's the leader of the EU's trade representative, is saying we might start having to tax, like, ad revenue for the tech companies in U.S. and stuff like that because this is serious. It's not far from over.
They also, in the EU, they started taking meetings with China about purchasing their cars. I think that was reported earlier this week. There was a meeting between the Chinese premier and that guy von der Leyen. So this is a woman.
We're just at the beginning of this, and it's just because the stock market rebounded briefly, where apparently everybody thinks, oh, we're back to normal. We will see increased prices, and to the extent that we may not see a big bump in inflation, it would only be because the economy is grinding to a halt and demand is crashing. Because people are going to be laying people off. Job numbers are going to start getting bad. People aren't going to be building as much. Job numbers are going to be bad. People are not going to make any purchases at the moment because they're a little concerned where things are going. And in the midst of all that, Jesse Waters says, why can't Democrats be patriots?
Okay, Jesse, they say it's stock manipulation. But how's it stock manipulation when Trump says at 9:17 in the morning, everybody buy, and it isn't until 4 hours later that he takes the pause?
I mean,
pause it for a second. Now, wait a second. This is not even the reason why we wanted to do this. But I will tell you how stock manipulation works. Stocks go down. Trump signals, I'm about to do something. And for those of you in the know, now's the time to buy.
You're waiting for.
Yes.
Buy. Like, what?
I mean, we see this with pump and dumps with crypto all the time. There's that brief period where the insiders know it's time to make the money.
We see it with Nancy Pelosi. When you follow her portfolio,
100%.
you make a bunch of money because she's in the know. Insider trading is how they play.
She's, I think, arguing like, well, how is it a scheme if he told everybody?
Right. Right. But the point is that you saw those purchases minutes before the public announcement.
Well,
And he was saying that sort of
but
buy
even
before.
still, but buy. I mean, he's not going to call up everybody he's going to say like,
Hey, Charles, I didn't know you were a real guy. I thought you were
Hey.
a company.
listen, watch my feeds, do what I say. Okay? That's how you do it.
Yes.
That's how you do it. Go ahead. Go back to that.
Manipulation when Trump says at 9:17 in the morning, everybody buy, and it isn't until 4 hours later that he takes the pause.
I mean, Nancy got filthy rich, and now they want to look at stock manipulation. Come on. The Democrats are mad when the market goes down, and then they're mad when the market goes up. You just can't win with these people. Is he caving to China? Is he too tough on China? I wish the Democrats would just help us out for once. This is about economic patriotism. This is about national security. And the Democrats have to just criticize everything this guy does. Oh, he blinked. Wait a second. I thought you wanted him to lower tariffs. Now you're going to investigate him for lowering tariffs? Doesn't make any sense. They say that this is going too quickly.
Okay, pause it for a second.
if you do it
pop up the he didn't lower tariffs. He didn't lower tariffs. He
There
didn't
it
lower
is.
tariffs. In fact, it crept up after the pause. The average tariff rate was 0.2% higher.
And all those countries in gray are having closer relationships with China after this. So that 10% we're seeing with like Japan, Vietnam, South Korea, Taiwan, we'll see what happens to that in 90 days.
And this says nothing about the effect on the bond market, which is the real issue destabilizing our entire economy. Like, he's basically caused a mass sell-off of U.S. Treasury bonds, which is the underpinning of our financial system.
the way they want to do it, maybe you go 5% tariff, 10% tariff, 15% tariff, and it just never gets anywhere. And our allies never race to negotiate. And then that's an actual trade war. They'll just sit back and they'll raise their tariffs, and then we get nothing. Trump has to do this fast. He's up against the midterms. He's term limited. We think he's term limited.
He is.
So the only way to get this done is shock therapy, and it's already getting results.
But what results have we gotten? You had some people. I'm sure some people sold off their pension holdings because they were worried. So
Charles
a bunch
Schwab
of people.
made $1 billion.
Results.
It's the results in that respect.
He delivers for the American person.
There's no results. There's no results. There's absolutely no result. First of all, not only is there no results, we don't even know what the goals are. Because 4 weeks ago, the goal was to raise $600 billion a year. And that way we don't need an income tax. And then 2 weeks ago, it was like, we're going to build American industry. And then it was, we're just going to make it through this. We're going to negotiate.
They're negotiations. They're also a way to generate revenue. They're also a way for Donald Trump to get some phone calls. What is the, there's no stated purpose that they're saying that he delivered on. So that's kind of what is helpful
They've never
to Donald
defined
Trump.
success.
They can't define it. The success is just Trump existing.
I was in the news a lot, so bingo.
Bingo.
And people, yeah.
People got rich. That's success.
I mentioned this yesterday, but Felix Biederman of Chapo said, well, this is embarrassing. Just yesterday, I borrowed and spent $700 billion on the assumption that there'd be a domestic manufacturing boom. People specifically told me Jamie Dimon wouldn't, I'm not going to quote the
Read
rest
the
of it. You
whole
can look it up.
I mean, Jesse really has a point. The Democrats should stick to more substantive critiques of Donald Trump. Not, his policies on trade, but maybe what color suit he's wearing or what he puts on a hot dog.
Also, this is a constitutional scandal that should be used to hit every single Republican in the Senate. This is why you don't have a president, and also, I guess, Obama with the TPP, we kind of wanted the executive to do this. But this is why you don't have the executive do it, because that changes over so quickly that nobody's going to be investing in a factory on the thought that Trump is going to lead to a new manufacturing renaissance.
Oh yeah.
You need that like in legislation that we're going to do these tariffs that are in a smart way and also support the manufacturing with state investment.
I misspoke about the Zendesk. The best thing to do if you got a problem with the app is email Kyle at fans.fm. Kyle at fans.fm. And just tell them what the problem is. Maybe send screen grabs if necessary. And also explain, I have what kind of phone you have, iPhone 15 or iPhone 12 or Galaxy or whatever it is, and put in your what your operating system is, what number it is, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, this is funny. And, you know, this guy posted this, and ostensibly, I mean, this what is amazing about this as you watch it is the lack of self-awareness here and the sense of proprietary and entitlement. And also as to why things may be sort of effed up in this country.
Yeah.
This is what you get when you have the kind of wealth disparity we have in this country, where you go from a plutonomy to a plutocracy or oligarchy.
This is one thing I'll tell you about the Trump administration, which is totally different. Okay, I was a lifelong Democrat. Okay, I was a mega donor to the Democrats. You know, like dinner with Obama level donor. Okay, I couldn't get a fucking phone call returned from the White House to save my life. The only thing that happened to me was I made an off-color comment about like something in China, and I had the Biden administration like basically say something, like essentially put out a press release, basically saying I was like, you know, mean. That's all I got for millions of dollars. That, you know what I mean? Like,
for being honest.
I mean, I was like, hey man, there's like a lot of problems in America. Like, you know, talk to me about the fentanyl crisis before we talk about everything else. Anyways, the Trump administration is totally different. There's not a single person there you can't get on the phone and talk to. I'll give you an example of this. A friend of mine's company was really impacted with these tariffs in a bad way, okay? This is like a really amazing, legitimate American business, 150-year-old business, family-owned, all this stuff. And I was able to call the deputy chief of staff and I said, hey, can you talk to the CEO and just so hear on the ground? He's like instantly putting me on the phone. You know, my wife runs a pharmaceutical business and, you know, we wanted to make sure that the administration understood like all the implications for rare diseases and orphan drugs. What happens if these tariffs like cripple the R&D budgets? Because there's 30 million Americans with rare diseases. Rare disease means it's not like diabetes or cancer. Yeah. It's like 200,000 people or less. But there's 30 million of these Americans. 2/3 are kids. And the only companies that work on such small markets are these small biotech companies. And the tariffs create a lot of uncertainty. We were able to talk to all of them. They were like, explain the issue. I want to understand it. So this is what's also totally different, which I really give them a lot of respect. They are willing to debate it with you. You can pick up the phone and talk to these people.
You can.
I've never had that experience, guys. I mean, look, I was like a
All right, pause it for 1
person.
second. Pause it for 1 second. First off, the reason why you never had to pick up the phone and call the Biden administration to help kids with rare diseases is because the Biden administration didn't do this.
They were doing
the time maybe to have these conversations is before you do it and create a potential economy creating a decision. But that's just sort of secondary.
Yeah.
First off, who are those guys that are sitting on the couches who are not going, hey, wait a second. We accidentally discovered huge amount of corruption in our political system that, you get access to the president when you want on demand if you give enough money.
That is Andrew Schultz's podcast, if I'm not mistaken, one of the guys that came out of the Rogan universe. And don't you think it's just fascinating that the extended Joe Rogan universe really involves interviewing billionaires and rich people, and for Rogan, occasionally literally CIA agents and government officials like Republicans? It's almost like they're not really talking about the true conspiracies in our society, which is like folks like this who can get on the call with the president and have the U.S. government bend to a rich guy's wishes. It's almost like they're selling that propaganda to their audience.
He is basically touting this administration because they're for sale. And it's an easy thing to do if you are a billionaire, that apparently you can buy influence and access. And there he is. And here we go.
Had that experience, guys. I mean, look, I was like a senior person at Facebook, could never get a meeting. I only met Obama once when he came to the thing. Then when I was running an investment fund, successful, I had dinner with Obama, but it was, under the purposes of should I donate to the foundation? I've donated millions of dollars to Democrats. I've never been to the Oval. Okay? But the minute that it's like here, it's like, hey, come to the White House, explain these issues now. You get on a plane, you get over there, and they're like, explain it. And then they'll debate it. That's like, it's totally different.
Sorry, devil's advocate. Should being a mega donor, I mean, I guess I get your point of view, but couldn't it also just be like, no, we're not going to be biased just because a person donated money. We're not going to just answer the phone whenever he called.
You think I was
hold on. Pause it. There we go.
Hero.
Credit to that guy. Devil's advocate. You know what? You're not being the devil's advocate. You're actually being the advocate
for the angels.
For hundreds of millions of Americans who don't have $1 billion, so that they can basically spend as much as like someone would on a used car relative to their, or maybe even less, frankly, at this point, and then buy access and then complain and cry about it.
Right. All right. I take back my my critiques of the podcast, if this guy's a part of it.
All these guys, Palpatine is the guy who's saying, like, we shouldn't bail out the airline industry. But when Silicon Valley Bank needed a bailout,
he was he the guy screaming?
I think Calacanis or Sachs was the guy that was really
really screaming about it.
Because a person donated money, we're not going to just answer the phone whenever he calls.
You think I was like, stupid 5 years ago, and all of a sudden tried to like start to build national champions like now?
Yeah.
Dude, man, I've been in the grind for fucking 25 years here, paying my taxes. I fucking paid, more than most people.
Yeah. So irrespective of the donation,
I've been trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to favor myself. It's like, even just to explain, like, here's what's happening on the ground. Do you want to know?
Wow.
Dude, I've been making companies.
Dude, I'm on the ground.
Facebook stuff.
I'm on the ground as a billionaire. Now, look, I think that a president should listen to a wide range of people. But if you think he's listening to a wide range of people, if he knows that he has access to Trump because of the money. That's it. He knows it.
He knows it. Right. These were the guys that were on camera. Palpatine was one of them as well, who was bragging about doing pump and dumps with crypto. So
they now say that was they were all joking and being
hilarious joke.
But yeah.
But I'm shocked that they don't have an issue with the administration that clearly just engaged in insider trading with these tariffs, or at the very least allies of the administration. They all want to get in on it. And frankly, this is why, like, those comments by Ro Khanna about how the Democrats need to get back in bed with Elon Musk, and we have Hakeem Jeffries flying out to Silicon Valley to appease these people. Just cut it off. Enough. Like, this is not something that is helpful for the party, especially as we begin to draw these lines about oligarchy versus anti-oligarchy. This is a silver platter message for the Democrats. The Republicans, or the administration where billionaires get a direct line to the White House and get their bidding done for them. We are the party that doesn't do that. That should be the line drawn in the sand.
Good for Biden. I mean, I imagine there are other billionaires that he was listening to, but
I mean, yeah, Haim Saban and others, but
if the money doesn't automatically get you access.
Yep.
I'm all in favor of that.
But
That's he's made
It's
the Democrats look
complaining.
as,
I just had a dinner that was like, oof.
but he's like, no, actually I should be, because what did he say? I make
Well, then he went on to say, and this is the other problem that we have with people like this. I've been grinding it, man, for 25 years.
please, bro.
yeah,
I nobody knows more than I do.
I got that grind set.
I mean, like, I think there's value when you are doing something without any pre-planning, like the Trump administration did with their tariffs. It's quite obvious. There was no, they didn't, but part of the thing that I think we see more in a normal administration are like committees that are set up and people debate these things. And we have legislative sessions where people debate these things and bring in experts.
At Facebook, Palpatia led the release of Facebook Beacon, an advertising system which failed and became the subject of lawsuits.
He's been grinding it.
Just grinding really hard. Give me $1 billion and
Dude, you're so dumb.
House.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he did get really a little bit defensive there at the end.
And something like social capital. These people are frauds. And I mean, this is the thing. We're talking about how we can like get the American dream back or whatever. We're talking about like, can we control people? Can we control things? No, we should control the money. And too much money has been going into the pockets of people like this because we trust them to invest it wisely, and they don't.
I mean, and this is like, you see how they're whining and bitching because they couldn't get Biden on the line, and because Lena Khan dared to enforce antitrust, and so they couldn't engage in illegal monopolistic practices anymore. I mean, this is why you can't do that strategy of going to them and trying to meet them halfway. We have to break them, take their wealth, break them. There's no other option. The only way out is through, and the Democrats have to embrace breaking up these companies, and they did with Lena Khan, to their credit, but go all the way through. And it's not just anti-monopoly practices. On the legislature side, the Democrats have to get behind clawing back the wealth via taxation, and they've abandoned that fight for like decades here.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Warren had a wealth tax proposal when she ran.
Yes.
And it scared the hell out of people this dude.
This moment where the entire world's talking about trade, it would be nice if the conversation could be pivoted to that. Because that's what we need on the global level, a Thomas Piketty style wealth tax. That's what the world needs right now.
All right, play that moment where the guy has the temerity to suggest maybe you shouldn't have all the power because you're a billionaire.
Right. Yeah, I worked at Facebook.
Who's that guy? He's
the co-host. I'm not sure what his name is.
He's the
Akash Singh.
Okay.
So yeah.
Oh, he's the co-host. All right, I love it.
I worked at Facebook in something called social capital.
How dare you?
I've been grinding out here.
How dare you?
Sipping lattes
Who do
and
you
telling
think
people.
I am,
I've been telling engineers to code stuff for 10 years.
I guess I get your point of view, but couldn't it also just be like, no, we're not going to be biased just because a person donated money. We're not going to just answer the phone whenever he called.
You think I was like, stupid 5 years ago, and all of a sudden tried to like start to build national champions like now?
National champions.
Dude, man, I've been in the grind for fucking 25 years here, paying my taxes. I fucking paid, more than most people.
All right, pause it for 1 second. Okay, so now he's saying he should have access to the White House because he pays more taxes than most people. Do you want to talk about resources? All those U.S. dollars that you got, guess who printed them? The government.
Yeah, thank Obama for that, buddy.
Guess who printed them? The government did. It's not your money.
Building national champions, you're not, Phil Jackson over here. Buddy.
Well, he's saying I'm one of the good ones. I mean, Palpatia had some, like, when I think it was in the Reddit GameStop trading era, right? Like, if I'm not mistaken,
he was like a Robin Hood guy.
Yeah, he was almost on board, and this kind of almost pseudo-populist expression of like, yeah, well, we do this all the time. Like the big guys do this all the time. The GameStop people should get in on it. And so I think he had some people. I mean, there were some fun clips of him going on CNBC and challenging their assumptions. But at the end of the day, even with that faux progressive billionaire, I don't know how rich he is, a very rich guy veneer, at the end of the day, like, this is still what they want. So he's saying, I'm one of the good ones. I saw where they were coming from, but the level of entitlement is still there.
And here's the thing. at the end of the day, I don't care if there's level of entitlement or not. I don't care if this guy's a jerk or a nice guy. We should not have people in our society who have that amount of money because it screws up society. It screws up our political system. It screws up our economy. It just does. Go ahead.
That's it.
I just want to see a little more of his like.
I get one more time. Building champions.
Phone whenever he calls.
You think I was like, stupid 5 years ago, and all of a sudden tried to like start to build national champions like now?
No, now, see, this is what's also fascinating. It's so hard for him to even understand the concept that Akash is making. He's like, I wasn't dumb then and smart now. I was smart then too. And Akash is just saying like, yeah, but I mean, if he could follow up, but of course he seemed like, I just got chastened by this guy. Maybe there are other smart people in the world that the only reason why that phone was answered was because of your money.
Mm-hmm.
And like
it wasn't because of what you did at Facebook.
But old Chomsky writes in, and they figured it out. Palpatia owns the Golden State Warriors, so he's on the ground building national champions. He's a minority owner of the Golden State Warriors, which is basically an investment in professional sports because the valuation of these teams keeps exploding year after year. So, you were on the ground with Kerr and with Steph Curry and with Draymond Green. You put in, it's like, sorry to get into sports, but Jerry Jones was saying they're negotiating a contract with their player, Micah Parsons. Like, we don't need an agent. It's just, the agent isn't on the field. I'm the team owner and the player. It should just be a negotiation between the two of us. It's like, no, you're the bag man. Same with you. You guys have nothing to do with the labor of these people on sports teams anyway.
I know the owner of one of the owners of the Celtics. And went to college with him, and I'll say, not the most impressive.
I would like to shout out Alex Skopik, who is a great writer over at Current Affairs, has a new piece out today. China knows how to deal with its billionaires. In the United States, wealthy individuals like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are allowed to dominate the country's politics and economy, but there is another way.
All right, should we watch the end of that or no?
That was the end.
Okay.
I know you wanted more, but
I did want more. How dare you, sir?
Making champions, and
I'm out here making a champion. You know how this impacts all my merch sales? These tariffs. Also, my wife. So we've surveyed the whole realm of how this is impacting on Americans because I also put my wife on the phone. Who does pharmaceuticals?
Yeah.
Now, I wonder if he defended like all the other industries that are getting, or is he just like, you could just carve out for pharmaceuticals, or you could.
Imagine how many phone calls you would have to take to sort out all the messes they've caused. If just in that guy's life, it's caused so many.
Right.
He has to get on the phone with him.
Let's do this. This cabinet meeting because it's insane. Jesse Waters provided us highlights of the cabinet meeting. This is just when you see them all together, it honestly feels like a weird movie.
Bad dream.
It feels like a weird movie. Like, how did they get these many insane sycophants? Complete incompetence.
It's like Ocean's 11, but in the bowels of hell.
It feels like that.
Put up the image of them all looking at us, right? This is the image you see when you're not getting into heaven, that they're all looking at you like that.
It's crazy. Here it is. We're going to go through, and I wonder if they said all hands on deck. We need to make it look like everything's going right here after this week.
Edition is off to a hot start. Trump gathered the contestants into a cabinet meeting after a strong
We should say
quarter.
he's selling it as The Apprentice White House They're going back to this. He's the boss.
I know the idiocracy thing is completely threadbare and worn out at this point, but I mean,
yes.
Oh,
Apprentice
yeah.
White House edition.
Yeah.
The contestants into a cabinet meeting after a strong first quarter.
Everyone at this table is doing an incredible job, by the way, I have to say. Incredible. And the relationships are, it's like they're friends. They're really, the relationships are very strong, really good, really strong. And these meetings are very good.
They're all nodding like, oh, yeah. We're all good friends. We're all good friends. They're
like a
saying that.
sleepover.
They're saying that because Musk got into like a screaming match. Was it with Lutnick or something?
Yeah.
They called Navarro retardo on Twitter.
Oh my God.
Okay, but
Everybody's friends, right? Everybody's friends.
I don't know, but he says it's like they're friends. Not that they're friends. It's like they're friends.
It's like a slumber party. Marco's going to be the first to fall asleep, and we're going to put his hand in a hot bowl of water.
Strong, really good, really strong. And these meetings are very good.
Can you go back like 10 seconds? I'm
No.
sorry. I just want to hear the it's like they're friends part.
But you
one
know,
more time.
not quite friends, but like they're friends.
Approaching friends.
After a strong first quarter.
Everyone at this table is doing an incredible job, by the way, I have to say. Incredible. And the relationships are, it's like they're friends. They're really, the relationships are very strong, really good, really strong. And these meetings are very good.
No one's going home this episode. Elon, though, he can leave at any time. But Trump doesn't want him to because he's good for ratings.
This is so bizarre.
Elon's done a fantastic job. Look, he's sitting here, and I don't care. I don't need Elon for anything other than I happen to like him. But I'm telling you, this guy did a fantastic job. I don't need his car. I actually bought one and they said, oh, did you get a bargain? No. I said, give me the top price. I paid a lot of money for that car. But honestly, he makes a great car. You know what I do with it? I let the people in the office drive around in it.
Sources say America's hard for.
This is so insane. It's so insane. Meanwhile, where's J.D. Vance? Is he under like the desk or something hiding?
Yeah.
Is he like continuity of government sort of?
I love the idea of like the Cybertruck that was in front of the White House being the office like ping pong table or something like that.
Yeah, the key fob's right by the door. Just grab it on the way out.
Yeah, Trump doesn't drive. We know this. He's talked about it
Get
many
behind
times.
the wheel, but yeah.
Yeah. But
Rob, Stephen Miller, has been hogging the keys to the boss's new whip. Margot, Natalie, and Chamberlain want to spin, but Miller won't let them drive. Even if Elon leaves, the car stays, and so does Big Balls.
Thanks to your fantastic leadership, this amazing cabinet, and the very talented Doge team, I'm excited to announce that we anticipate savings in FY26 from reduction of waste and fraud by $150 billion. And I mean, and some of it is just absurd. Like,
pause it
people
for
getting
1 second.
unemployment.
Wait a second. Did he say 150 billion in 2026? Mm-hmm. I'm confused because I thought he was going to save $2 trillion. Does anybody have a calculator?
After inflation.
How much is $150 billion less than $2 trillion? It feels like it's 8 times less, somewhere around there. And this is happening in 2026. I wonder why he has to say 2026. I mean, hasn't he cut all these people? Like, and a reminder, they cut the CDC people who would work on making sure that cruise liners were not having a massive outbreaks. And the cruise liners paid for that. We didn't even pay for it. Here is how they're doing so far in 2025. And what?
wow.
Well, that's weird. Spending is actually 150 billion higher. So when he says we're going to cut $150 billion in 2026, it would have been 300. Well, they're just going to get back supposedly to the 2024 baseline.
Biden levels.
But there was a continuing resolution. we're going to cut Trump's spending that existed. It's just insane. Continue.
Insurance who haven't been born yet.
You people are fantastic. In fact, hopefully they'll stay around for the long haul. We'd like to keep as many as we can. They're great, smart, sharp, right? Finding things that nobody would have thought of. Very computer savvy.
Tech support's been
Computer savvy. Computer savvy.
Everything's computer.
Yeah, not so great with apps though. Apps I'm not so great with.
Trump is so mystified by technology in the way that like a really, really rich old guy can only be, because he's never needed to use it for practical uses except to tweet. Like, that's so much of what this is, right?
Barron can get you on the internet in under 5 minutes.
Yeah, he can turn on his computer by himself.
Yeah. And then go, what are you doing, Barron? Oh,
it's amazing.
Little Harvey, what's his name? You know Firestein, yeah.
It's oh yeah, continue.
Billions we're spending on 100% organic shea butter in Burkina Faso, and of course masseuses is in Nigeria. And no one ever says thank you. They just Molotov his cars. But don't worry, Bondi's on it.
Your directive to me was to keep America safe, and that's what we're doing. You know, you also gave us a directive to prosecute the people who are going after Tesla to the fullest extent of the law, some of the greatest police work I've seen. We've made 4 arrests. There will be no negotiations at your directive. They're all looking at 20 years in prison, and within the next 24 hours, you're going to be seeing another huge arrest on a Tesla dealership, President, and that person will be looking at least 20 years in prison with no negotiations.
We don't negotiate with Trantifa or bad
so there you go.
Bondi.
We have our U.S. Attorney General is working on arresting 5 people because of attacks on a specific car.
Thank good for car dealership security. That's the #1 national security.
We're going to see a boon in the car dealership security industry.
In cash seized 45,000 pounds of narcotics yesterday, and the CIA is changing the rules of engagement. The agency used to help arrest cartel kingpins. Now they're considering assassination. And Bobby Kennedy says, don't change the channel.
By September, we will know.
Can we just hold on to that assassination thing? When you do decapitation strikes on, like, whether it's a terror group or drug cartels, for instance, the impact of that isn't everything calms down. It's that there's a giant power struggle that leads to more violence. That's pretty well observed pattern.
Oh, they'll just stop doing it.
Yeah.
They'll just stop the business.
Okay.
I mean, the idea of bombing one of our closest trading partners probably seems like a bad idea in Mexico.
Yeah, just send a missile. Also, that's a good business for missile companies too.
What has caused the autism?
Go back.
CIA
Yeah, here we go.
Changing the rules of engagement. The agency used to help arrest cartel kingpins. Now they're considering assassination. And Bobby Kennedy says, don't change the channel.
Here comes more craziness.
We will know what has caused the autism epidemic, and we'll be able to eliminate those exposures. Exposure so big. Think of that. So it was 1 in 10,000 children had autism, and now it's 1 in 31. There's got to be something artificial out there that's doing this. So you think you're going to have a pretty good idea, huh? We will know by September. There will be no bigger news conference than that.
The administration is going where
I just want to be clear that Kennedy says we're going to know by September what causes autism. I mean,
something tells me it's going to be the same thing that he says causes autism right now.
We were going to do it by August, but surf's up on the Cape, so we're doing it in September.
Hey, what causes measles? Can we get back to that?
Oh, can we go to? Can we get on to? If I were you, I would get on Polymarket right now and bet that it's
about the outcome
vaccines
of what they're going to do with their very clinical study.
I would bet that it's vaccines.
Yeah,
vaccines and vaccines.
It's just so weird. Like, prior to the 1900s, there were very few left-handed people. And then the numbers of them just skyrocketed, and we have to figure out what is going on.
When was the polio vaccine?
It was after that. But that could have been anticipatory left-handedness caused by the polio vaccine.
Okay. Official out there that's doing this. So you think you're going to have a pretty good idea, huh?
We will know by September.
There will be no bigger news conference than that.
The administration
Go back and look at Marco Rubio's face, where Rubio is the only one who seems to realize, like, my God, he has some semblance of like self-awareness, and he's just like, I wish I didn't have to sit right next to Trump.
I was right between him, and same with Burgum. Yeah.
Just watch Rubio's face.
I mean, come on, Sam. How could you be saying that? It's like they're friends. Look at their faces. So much affection.
They're like family, but a lot of my family won't talk to me.
31. There's got to be something artificial out there that's doing this. So you think you're going to have a pretty good idea, huh?
We will know by September.
There will be no bigger news conference than that.
The administration's going where no
that
one's
last
going to go.
sort of sigh,
and when you work hard,
where Rubio is just like, I just got to get through this. Got to get through this. Unbelievable. Incidentally, I don't know if you saw the CBS. We should have taken clips from that CBS interview with Kennedy. He didn't seem to know about anything that was going on at the. I've been on a tour selling crystals that will.
I mean, we know what he's been doing. He's been being hectored about, can you please say something pro-vaccine before this measles thing kills more kids?
Well, not publicly.
I've
had over 100 people working around the clock to scan the paper around RFK, Senator Robert F. Kennedy's assassination, as well as Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination. These have been sitting in boxes in storage for decades. They have never been scanned or seen before. We'll have those ready to release here within the next few days.
Pause it for a second. I am not a big fan of the national security apparatus or of these intelligence agencies. But I gotta think that having 100 people working around the clock to look through these documents that are going to be there, they'll be there next week. And like, maybe you could have had one person or 5 people working, 9 to 5, looking at these things to release them. But this has to happen in the next 3 days.
The Mary Farrow Foundation, which is like sort of the grassroots JFK conspiracy sort of research group that looks over these documents, after the release of the documents about a month or so ago, said, hey, appreciate it. It's nice you released all this stuff. Should have been done maybe in your first term. But also, can you not include the social security numbers of people and that sort of identifying information because they weren't doing basic due diligence?
Yeah, but they're also not releasing, like, the idea that they're throwing the MLK assassination in there as if we don't know who would be the most likely culprit in that the MLK tapes, I think, is a great podcast that people can listen to on this front about like why there were maybe purposeful, potentially security lapses because the powers that be wanted MLK to be assassinated. Like, they're not going to reveal that information in the same way that the children of Malcolm X have had to sue the CIA and the FBI last year to get information about their complicity, which is now very well established in Malcolm X's assassination, as well as the NYPD. Like, they don't give this information willingly because Tulsi Gabbard is the deep state. Tulsi Gabbard worked in intelligence for the military, and now we have to pretend like, oh, she's going to be interested in transparency here? Give me a break.
I'll trade you the key to how what causes autism if you give me the files.
Mark Lamont Hill, I saw make this point too regarding the MLK stuff because like it's true, like Coretta Scott King among others thinks that FBI had complicity in there. What Mark Lamont Hill said was we should look at the right wing taking this MLK stuff and using it to smear MLK, like all of the affair stuff and all that stuff.
100%.
That's going to be what they sort of like emphasize when they release all this stuff.
And we already know it's been now established of the FBI, I think, complicity in the killing of and orchestration of Fred Hampton. It's obviously not a stretch that was extended to even more prominent civil rights leaders.
It's just a confirmed fact that they harassed MLK telling him to kill himself, or we're going to smear you as an adulterer.
Yeah.
That's great. Bobby, how do you feel about that? That's hitting close to home.
Yeah, no.
So you think,
Yeah.
thinking about Bobby
No.
when that statement's made.
I'm very grateful to you, Mr. President.
Assassination files have been sitting around in boxes collecting dust for decades, and we get to see them in a couple.
Trump was a president for 4 years of those decades. I would just point out, but anyway, and it was actually the time came up under his administration.
I was pretty busy, Matt.
Well,
I didn't have time to do everything.
I love that that's Trump's attempt to be like sensitive, just going.
It's close to home, doesn't it?
It's close to home. He was your father, is that right? Okay.
It hits almost as close as those bullets hitting the door frame, doesn't it?
Really close. So close to home.
A little bit more, I guess.
Couple days. That episode's going to be hard to top. But Hegseth gave it a shot. We're getting the canal.
We just got back from Panama last night. We were at the Panama Canal with their Southcom commander ships, F-18s, troops, and signed a couple of historic deals. And then also a memorandum of understanding with their security minister for the presence of U.S. troops. Fort Sherman is an old U.S. base there, as well as their naval station and air station, jointly with Panama to secure the Panama Canal from Chinese influence. That's something you said, we're taking back the canal. China's had too much influence. Obama and others let them creep in. We, along with Panama, are pushing them out, sir.
Jose, this is a memorandum of understanding. It means you understand it's ours. Comprende?
Oh my God! Oh, I can't believe that. What does that mean? Too much Chinese influence? Well, we're now able to go through, and we've gotten rid of like a couple of the restaurants. Hunan Express is gone. We've replaced it with a McDonald's, another McDonald's. Like, what is exactly that? What are these?
They're mad that the Chinese are engaging in global free trade.
We're going to show. I mean, I got news for you. Guess what? They're not going to need to do. They're not going to be coming. Those Chinese ships are going to be going the other direction anyways. They're going to stay on their continent.
The Panama Canal thing, I've been rereading Stephen Kinzer's book, Overthrow. Here's just an excerpt from Wikipedia. The book talks about such things as how the United States, during its first real coup, decided to remove Nicaraguan President Zelaya from power over objections of officials like the United States ambassador to Nicaragua, because they wanted power of the canal. It also said that the United States tricked the Panamanians into independence from Colombia so that they could have the land to build the Panama Canal, and Colombia would not give them land. And Kinzer also in the book talks about how there were different investment groups like from Asia that wanted to build a canal in Nicaragua. And using the Monroe Doctrine, we said, no, we're going to control all of this, and we're going to put it in Panama. And so there could be a Nicaraguan canal that America has no justification for, but we used our imperial might to say to intimidate that out of being made. So like this idea that we made it, no one else would have done it. And actually, though, there's a lot of the world trade 100 years ago wanted a canal in that area, and we just wanted to make sure we control it.
Should we take some IMs? Got to get going in a couple minutes, or should we just hear from a correspondent? Yo, do you want to say a couple of words? Do you? We have a special correspondent in studio right now.
Yes.
He's been hitting the streets. Oh. There we go. Yo.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what's your name?
Saul.
Saul, could you speak into the microphone a little bit clearer, please?
Like this?
Yes.
Very clear.
Do you have access to the White House? Have you called the White House to talk to them about this whole tariff thing?
What?
The tariff thing?
No.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
No.
You don't? Have you been doing your social studies homework?
No.
Or is that new gaming PC I keep hearing about calling your name?
Oh, we haven't
we
quite
haven't finished it.
We haven't finished it yet.
Oh.
We need somebody to help us with the wires.
All right.
What else do you want to report on? What else is going on in the streets?
We got a new cat.
Yeah, you got a new cat. Yeah, people already knew that. What's the name of the cat?
Griffin.
Okay. And What else? But what's happening on the streets? I don't want to hear what's happening in your home. I want to hear what's happening on the streets. What's the word on the street?
What are the kids talking about?
What are the kids talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's going on? What's the newest game that people are playing? Hello?
What?
You're not very talkative today.
No.
You didn't have your roast prepared for your dad?
No.
Not today? All right.
People want to get an update on what's happening with the 20 minutes.
It's like 40 now.
Is it 40?
Yeah.
It's growing?
Yeah.
Okay.
The older you get, the longer it gets.
Well, are you when you're on? You go on YouTube, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
What do you get served up like Charlie Kirk or anything like that? Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I've seen a couple videos.
Really?
What do you think?
What do you think?
I don't really watch them.
Okay, good. Well, would you watch any right-wing YouTube shows?
No.
What do you mostly like to watch?
I don't really watch YouTube.
What do you watch when you
TikTok.
TikTok? Okay. And what's your favorite TikTokers? Do you have any favorite TikTokers?
No.
Okay. What's your favorite TV show?
It's like a couple.
Okay. What are they?
The Rookie.
The Rookie. Okay. The Rookie. Yeah.
The Office.
The Office. All right.
Classic.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Family Guy.
Family Guy.
Family Guy,
Yeah.
also a classic.
Yeah. And what about Bob's Burgers? Have you ever seen that? You ever seen that show?
I stopped watching it. I've watched like all the seasons though.
Okay.
Twice.
Oh, okay, good. Any favorite characters on that show?
Yeah, I really don't like that Hugo guy. He's really
Yeah.
annoying.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Okay.
His voice is terrible.
His voice is terrible?
Terrible.
Mhm. All right. Favorite movies? Any good movies that have come out lately?
No.
Okay. This is really going well. You weren't prepared for this, were you?
No.
What about
Okay.
concept cars? Any new concept
Have you seen any concept cars that you like?
I think it's not really a concept anymore.
What is it?
It's like it's Mercedes AVTR. It's like the Avatar one. It's based on the
Oh.
actual movie.
You told us about this, right? It's that blue color last time you were here, right?
Yeah, it's really cool. You can. It's like it's that one.
Let's put this up so the people know what the streets are talking about.
And it's like the back ripples like an animal. It's pretty cool.
All right. Whoa.
Wow.
All right. Well, what if I was to tell you that is what you're getting for your next birthday?
Well, and the cool part is like you control it with your hand. Like instead of a steering wheel, it's like if you look in it, there's like a little bump on the where your arm usually is, and you
Uh-huh.
put your hand on it, and like, you control a car by like doing
That's
that.
great.
That's cool. Does it have doors?
I don't really know.
Let me ask you this. Getting off the car for a moment. Would you say that I've got Sigma Riz?
No.
All right. And what's your favorite skibbity?
Do you even know what that is?
Nope.
Okay, good.
No, I don't.
Is that the toilet video? We're back on toilets again. Okay. I don't get it. Can you explain it to us? Is it just funny and you don't know how to explain it? And it's
No,
better
it's
that
not
way?
funny.
Oh, it's not? It's serious?
No, it's annoying.
It's annoying.
You saw the Minecraft movie, right?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
It was good.
You liked it?
Yeah.
What was your favorite part?
I don't know.
All right.
All right. Do you like Jack Black?
Yeah.
He's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add today? Is there something you feel strongly about? Because we got to wrap this up.
No.
All right. Good. Good. All right. Well, happy Passover. I probably will see you around.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Yeah, we may run into each other.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for coming by.
Thanks, Saul.
Good stuff. Next time he's on, he's going to have more material prepared. Maybe play, or you bring your uke in.
Oh, yeah.
Or no, or he'll just roast you. I mean, we could just
What's that?
a recording.
Yeah, we'll play the uke recording. Don't we have that?
We played it, and I think so. I'll remember we played it before, and people were saying how good it sounded.
Yep. We're gonna do one more pass on the underlying music, on the sort of the accompanying stuff, and more instrumentation. All right. Are you boycotting Snow White because of what the lead actor said in it? Okay. No. All right.
You're not that concerned about that. Some men in their 40s are really angry about the Snow White movie. Do you think that's cool or lame? Doesn't matter. I agree. Yeah.
All right, couple IMs, then we'll get out of here. The mailman, the mad mailman. Your second guest was awesome. Really has his finger on the pulse of the of current.
That's you, Saul. You're awesome.
Parade of idiots. Sam, no, you should be saying chicken jockey. I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
That's a Minecraft thing.
Oh, Minecraft. It's actually insane how brazen they are with money buying access to politicians. Them actually complaining about it means their brain doesn't work anymore. Pardon Jimmy Pesto. Is Trump allowed to defy the court because it's an official act? I mean, it's a good question. Cole from Little Rock, honest question. What do you say to someone who comes back with, and I'm supposed to trust the government with all that money, when you bring up taxing the wealthy? I know what I usually respond with, but I'm curious if you guys have something better. You know what? It would be better for society if they took that money and burned it. We don't need to trust the government with that money to make it valuable, to make sure that there aren't individuals out there with so much money that they can buy their way into the government. I mean, why would you trust one individual with no constituency except for themselves to be able to dictate what our government does? That's why. That's what I would say. All right, 5 more. Theo is not alive. Ask if he's excited for the Minecraft movie. I did. Happy Canada update last week. Vancouver elected a socialist city councilor, Sean Orr, with an overwhelming win over the police, developer, and billionaire-backed party in power. If national politics depresses you, definitely check out your local races. There's a lot more room for socialists at that level. Bingo dango. They're not saying Miss Rachel is Hamas. They're calling for Pam Bondi to bring charges against her.
It's for doing videos to cheer up starving children in Gaza. These people are insane. Insane. Lost their minds.
Bradley from Texas. Hello, MR crew. Great interview with Jeet. Emma, I just listened to your episode of Pod Yourself this morning. You were great. Pointed out things I never thought of, even though I've seen every episode 3 times.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Left is best.
Thank you so much.
What is every episode 3 times?
I don't know.
Pod Yourself? They mean pod save, right?
I think so. I mean, I'm not sure what you mean every episode of Pod Save or every episode of the Majority Report. But
bored of it all. Have you ever had a schizophrenic neighbor who believed that Guns N' Roses lived upstairs? You can't reason with them. The next day, he forgets all about it. And Andy is focused on the cops tapping his phone. If he forgets his meds, shit goes crazy. This is our political system and discourse. There's no 5D chess. It's just that in capitalism, the individual is paramount, and we're at the point where everyone is just trying to win, whatever that means, money or power, and if it helps others, well, a bonus. 3 more. Labor Lover 420. I know there's not a lot of fun right now, but there was an amazing clip of James Adomian on stage doing a lawn impression with another comedian doing RFK. You guys would love it. I bet you that RFK was Kyle Dunnigan, who was on our show Election Eve. Goldman Ballsacks, thanks for giving us a real fun half today. Love your latest correspondent. And the final I am of the week.
I got an extra thing after this, too.
Mutts butts. Sam, bird, bird, bird. Bird is the word.
It's a good last I am. The Chamath thing talking about he's been building all these great companies. There's a thing from Kinzer's book about Avril Harriman during the Iran coup. He says, desperate for relief, he began taking long flights to provincial capitals aboard his official plane, which was air-conditioned. He ordered the cabin be made as cold as possible, and he and his aides wrapped themselves in blankets while they enjoyed the chill. When Vernon Walters suggested that using the plane that burned 800 gallons of fuel per hour in order to cool off was a bit excessive, Harriman bristled in reply, if you had seen my income taxes over a period of years, you would know that I've bought a number of these for the U.S. government.
Amazing. Matt, Russ, Emma, great job this week. Folks, we'll be back on Monday. I'll see you in a week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.